But these are not specific or these are not precise terms. How much carbohydrate does it take to fill all the muscle of the body with glycogen? And then what sorts of things perhaps deplete that?
I think it's a great question. We know that when we're talking about glycogen, the liver stores glycogen, maybe 100 grams, and then skeletal muscle, depending on your size, for example, you might store much more muscle glycogen, whether it's 400 or 500 grams compared to someone who is my size.
And can we do the standard conversion of 4 calories per gram? So if the liver is 400 grams, we could just say, okay, there's about 1,600 calories worth of energy there. So if I go out and I do some exercise and burn 1,600 calories over time, does that mean that the liver is then completely depleted?
So, the liver will deplete through an overnight fast. So the liver maintains blood glucose. So skeletal muscle doesn't maintain blood glucose directly. The way that you would leverage muscle glycogen would be through exercise. Mm-hmm. The way in which you would deplete muscle glycogen would be through more intensive exercise. And when you think about the foods and the way in which, your original question is, how would we know how much muscle glycogen or how much we need to refuel? I typically think about it as overall activity levels. So if someone is sedentary, then the current recommendation for carbohydrates would be 130 grams
per day.
Per day.
At 4 calories per gram.
At 4 calories per gram.
And is that both simple and complex carbohydrates, fibrous carbohydrates?
Yes, it would just be overall.
130 grams,
yes.
If they're completely sedentary.
Yes.
So just a little bit of walking, getting up, going to the computer, to the bathroom, to the car, et cetera, but basically sedentary.
Yes, and the average American takes in 300 grams of carbohydrates a day. So more than double. And as you can imagine, this can distort metabolism. When we think about glucose disposal, the way in which I think about glucose disposal, if an individual is sedentary, is thinking about how many carbohydrates an individual can ingest at one time that would mitigate insulin response and would be able to be disposed of safely. And that number is between 40 and 50 grams of carbohydrates at a meal outside of exercise. The rest of carbohydrates would be earned through exercise and through every hour of exercise, depending on the intensity. That could be between 40 to 70 grams, depending on how intense an individual exercises.